Well, it's fun, because again, when you look out and see your 8th grade math teacher and friends that you grew up with since kindergarten. It's kind of neat. First of all, that they actually paid to hear me speak. That's kind of neat in itself. But I enjoy it. But regardless of where I go, if I'm asked to speak on something, I try to make sure that I bring a good message.
Your message, it's clear, it comes from living in Pelham and growing up with these people. Talk about the fact that this has meant so much to you. Everything you preach comes from here.
Yeah, well, I tell people I'm really proud to be from Pelham, Alabama. I take pride in where I'm from. I take pride in hopefully being an encouragement to a lot of young people that you can grow up in Pelham and be equipped with the tools that you need to go be successful in life. I got my education here. Met my wife here. I achieved a lot of things. I developed a great work ethic here, and lifelong friends. Became a Christian here. There's so many things happened to me in Pelham, Alabama, that shaped me, for the rest of my life. When I eventually left when I was 18.
You've got that flag football game tomorrow. What's that going to be like?
I have no idea, other than I'm playing. I know that. They tried to tell me I was coaching. I'm like, wait a minute now. I'm playing. So if my brother can play, I know I can play. That was kind of my message in that. But it'll be fun. I have no idea who will be there, but I'm glad that I was able to participate in this, and hopefully it'll be a great day to kind of have a good reunion. Help Coach Causey out and what he's trying to do up there at the high school.
Coach, when you end the season like you did, do you try to forget about it as quick as you can, or do you kind of take that into the off season to motivate you, to push you to get better?
Well, regardless of whether we'd have won the game or whatever, we would be doing the same things. I might have had a trip to the White House. That would have been pretty cool, and maybe a parade or something. But other than that, you start over. Same thing down there in Tuscaloosa. They celebrated that, and that was last season. You move on to the next season, regardless of what happened the year before. It's a new team, new chemistry, new leadership, new personalities, new people joining your program. A lot of guys leaving your program, and that's the fun of it, though. Just kind of starting over, and it's a new journey all to itself. But you never forget. I unfortunately remember a lot of those losses, not just that one. That one will obviously always be there, but you learn and grow from everything. So you don't necessarily forget, but I don't dwell on it. That's not going to do any good for anybody. It's always about what's in front, what's next. And for us, it's summer workouts. It's our fall camp. It's Auburn. Because that's what we can control. Can't do anything about what's happened other than learn from it and continue to try to grow our program. And it was a great experience for us, something that's been a difference this spring in that, when I started over with this team has an experience to draw upon that no team I've ever had at Clemson. They've never had that experience to draw on from going into spring. So I think a little failure is good along the way. And certainly we've had great energy and a sense of urgency all spring. The guys know what it takes, and looking forward to getting back on the field this September.
To that end, I saw an interesting quote from you that said, you don't want Alabama to beat you twice. And I guess that to me, that shows just how personal that game was for you.
Yeah, Alabama, it was a personal game just because my background and all that, and it was really more kind of prior to the game. But once the game kicked off, you're just trying to win the game. You're so tied up in what's going on and the strategy of the game and your team, your players, you kind of forget all that other stuff. But I'm certainly proud of what they've been able to achieve down there, and it was a neat experience to compete against them. They've been kind of the standard for everybody. And hopefully we can at least gain a lot of confidence that, hey, we're a program that's not going away. We feel like that we're going to be in the mix for many years to come, and I don't have any doubt that we'll be back in that game. We're going to win that game, and so look forward to just continuing that climb.
We've had this debate in the office. Are you a Clemson guy or an Alabama guy? I maintain that you're a Clemson guy, not just because they're paying the bills. I think your growth, you're now a Clemson guy. How do you separate the two? Who are you, Clemson or Alabama guy?
I'm the Clemson head football coach. That's who I am. I'm Dabo Swinney from Pelham, Alabama. I have been shaped by all my experiences in life. And, I love to coach football, and it's what I do, but it's not who I am. It's what I tell people. I'm a father. I'm a husband. I'm a son. I'm a brother. I'm a friend. I'm a Christian. That's who I am. I just happen to coach football for a living, and I'm very blessed to be able to do it at a place like Clemson. This is going to be, what's crazy is I went to Alabama, University of Alabama, when I was 18, and I left when I was 31. And it just, and I went to Clemson when I was 33. And this is going to be my 14th season at Clemson. 13 seasons at Alabama, 14 seasons at Clemson. I'm the luckiest guy, the most blessed guy in the business that I've been able to be at two programs like I've been at and learn from so many wonderful people, the good, the bad, you name it, be exposed to a lot of different things, and especially to be able to raise my family in a place like Clemson. It's been special, and compete at the highest level. I'm very, very fortunate, but love where I'm at, love what I do, and hopefully the good Lord will continue to bless me with good health and good players, because I'm a lot better coach with Deshaun Watson than I am without him. I promise you that.
You mentioned the Auburn game. Will it be at all awkward for you to face Kevin Steele in that game? How hard was that for you to let Kevin go? And certainly he's a better football coach than 70-33 against West Virginia.
Oh, yeah. No, that Kevin Steele is as good a football coach as I've ever worked with, and did an unbelievable job for us at Clemson. I mean, a phenomenal job. We won our first ACC championship in 20 years, and Coach Steele did an awesome job. I have great respect for him. Just sometimes as you go through this profession, sometimes change comes about, and it's not necessarily football. Sometimes there just needs to be change for both parties or whatever, and has nothing to do with anything else. But I'm really appreciative of all that Kevin did for our program at Clemson and the impact he made on a lot of the players. He certainly made me better. There's no doubt about that, and I'm proud of what he's done since. And in this business you have lots of different relationships, whether you work with them and now you work against them or whatever. That just always comes with the territory. All I can tell you is we're going to do everything we can to play our best game, and they'll do the same thing.
The last round of realignment, there was talk that Clemson and Florida State were close to leaving the ACC for the Big 12. How real was that report? And secondly, would Clemson ever consider leaving the ACC for another conference, say the SEC?
Well, I don't think that was real at all. You talking about several years ago? No, I don't think there was anything to that at all. If there was, I certainly didn't know anything about it. I think that'd been a terrible mistake. I think we've got an incredibly strong conference, and it's an honor to be a part of the ACC. And this conference doesn't take a backseat to anybody. And you can look at our head-to-head and what we've been able to do as a program. To me, it's about the program, not the conference. There's some bad teams in good conferences. That's what I focus on. I mean, I'm proud of our conference, and I love to see other teams do well and all that stuff, but I'm more focused on Clemson and being the best that we can be. And as far as future whatever, those are decisions that are way above me. My job is to just win games at Clemson, and that's what I focus on.
There's been a lot of talk recently, and it seems to be gathering momentum, of perhaps having a commissioner to oversee college football. Is that something that you would see a benefit from?
Yeah, I think there'd probably be some benefit to that. The Power Five have commissioners, and maybe have somebody, maybe the hub of that, if you will. But again, those are things I don't sit around and think much about. But I certainly don't think it'd be a bad thing.
Is Clemson the team to beat this year?
Well,
you got Deshaun Watson. You got Dabo Swinney coaching them.
We're the team to beat in that we don't need to lose to Clemson. You know, we need to take care of Clemson. We need to focus on Clemson and worry about what we do and how we do it and how we prepare. To me, that's what matters. You know, what other people say and the expectations that other people put on our program, it really, good or bad, really has nothing to do with our performance. It shouldn't. You know, what we got to focus on is again, just what we do, how we do it, our formula for excellence, and just continuing to you know, do things the right way and put our best foot forward each and every week and try to make every game the biggest game of the year so that we can be consistent.
And finally, Saturday Down South, I had an article today about it's time to let overtime go. No more overtime in college football. It's been there since 1996. Would you be okay with kissing your sister with ties?
No, I like winning and losing. I think there needs to be a winner and a loser. I've never liked ties. You know, I mean, last time I was at Auburn, we lost in overtime. But I think at the end of the day, you work so hard. Let's get a result. You know, I coach Little League Baseball right now, and I can't stand it when they tell me we got a tie. You know, let's play and let's make sure that somebody wins and somebody loses. To me, that's just the way it ought to be.
Coach, talk about opening up the season with Auburn, coming to
Going
Auburn.
to be a really tough challenge. Very talented football team, very well coached football team, a great staff, and you know, they got a very dynamic and talented front defensively. A lot of unknowns, and it really doesn't matter who you play in the opener. It's always, to me, the hardest game because you have more time to prepare than you ever do for any game, and there's always unknowns because you hadn't seen that team play. And guys changed, even the guys that are back, they change, they get better, they mature, they get more knowledgeable, and then you have a lot of new people that enter into the equation that you haven't seen because you don't have preseason games. So there's just a lot of unknowns that you have to get ready for. That's always the tough thing, and then you throw in the fact that you're playing a really talented team like Auburn at their place. You know, it's a big challenge. So we've got to have a great summer, great camp, and again, at the end of the day, make sure that you know, we come out playing at a high level. We've got a lot of work to do in our fall camp to try to prepare these guys.
Talk about Deshaun Watson. You talked about guys get better. What can he get better at?
Shoot, he can get better at a lot. I mean, he needs to improve his completion percentage. He didn't complete 100%. He had 13 interceptions. We need to cut that down. He took 6 sacks by himself on him, 100%. You know, there's some fundamental things that he can improve on, footwork, and so a lot of room for improvement for him. And I think at the end of the day, always just trying to improve mentally and physically. His body is just responding to the training and the regimen that he's put himself through, and I'm really proud of him. He showed up at about 182 pounds. He's about 215 now, and has really worked really, really hard. So just continuing that you know, path that he's on. And he'll be the first to tell you there's a lot of room for improvement with him. You know, that's the way the great ones are. You know, they never sit back and say, "Well, I got this." You know, it doesn't matter if you're Michael Jordan or Deshaun Watson or Steph Curry or whoever. The great players are always trying to get better, and that's exactly what he's doing.
Is he the best player you've ever coached?
Well, it's hard to, you know, compare those things, but I mean, you know, maybe one of these days I'll write a book and I'll hammer it down. But I mean, I don't think I've ever coached anybody better, and certainly with the whole package that he brings. You know, just because he's a great player, but he's 10 times the person now. I mean, this kid is laser focused, special human being that just happens to be a good football player, and that's what I love about him more than anything. He's going to graduate in December in 3 years. He's never taken less than 18 hours in a semester. He just took 19 hours in the spring. He's got 15 this summer. I mean, he is just so focused on being the very best that he can be. He doesn't get distracted by stuff that doesn't matter. He's a very uncommon young person in this world that we're in.
You know, one of the big topics in the offseason was satellite camps. I think he came out and said, heck, we don't need that. We can stay in Clemson and bring them to Clemson.
Well, I'm having a satellite camp, but it's going to be trying to get them to all the places we're going to have to practice. We got 4,000 kids coming through camp at Clemson, and so we got about 12 buses. We run out of grass. We got to find every patch of grass we can find all around Clemson. So that'll be our satellite, and you know, and then my coaches have been on the road for 5 weeks at practices every day, watching track meets and whatever, doing evaluation. So they're at a satellite camp every day. That's what they should be doing, is evaluating. And so now, for us, we'll come back off the road. Our guys will finish up next week. We'll have 2 weeks of camp in June. And again, we got 4,000 kids slated to come through there. It's going to be an awesome summer, and I look forward to hosting all those guys. But, you know, I don't, to each his own. People got to run their programs however they want to. But for us, you know, I can like a guy to death, but he's got to come to Clemson if I'm going to have a chance. You know, I don't need any practice recruiting. I've done that for a long time. You know, they got to come to Clemson, and if they take the initiative to come to Clemson, then it shows me that they're serious about our program, and then we can determine whether we're a good fit and they're a good fit, and go from there.